Everybody, happy Monday and welcome to What's Up Cuz. I'm your host, Jason Palmer, along with my cousin, the coach, Lance C. Irvin, as we celebrate this Monday here in the Chicago area. How you doing, cuz? What's up?
I'm doing great, cuz. How are you? And thanks for putting the C out there. Thanks for putting the C in there again, okay? Because I didn't want to jump through the screen and act up on you, but that's all right, though. You know, C stands for champion.
Yeah, you know, I'm getting better. I'm starting to remember your name. Starting to remember your name, so starting to get a little bit better with it, man. And, you know, hey, what can I say? I'm making progress.
Hey, you know I'm your favorite cousin, even though Cindy tried to claim you from time to time. But, you know, that's all right, though. I'm not going to get Cindy started. Matter of fact, I'm going to have Cindy phone in. Tell her favorite cousin acting up today with your White Sox gear on. What's that, White Sox?
Oh, you know it is, man. After what happened this weekend, you know I had to bring out the gear for the boys, man. Oh my goodness. What did you think of that series?
You know what? First, you know, I got to start off showing my Kobe shirt since you
yeah. Happy birthday in heaven, Kobe.
Happy birthday, Kobe. You know what I thought about that series, cuz it's not fair because you and I are Sox fans. So I thought happened just what was supposed to happen. Our Sox showed up, showed out. That power is a monster in that lineup.
Yeah.
That power, Lloyd, Roberts. I'm not gonna mention that other fella who just went nuts. I'll let you talk about him for a little while. When you throw anything down the middle, a waist-high fastball or a sinker that doesn't sink, you might as well wave at it.
Hey,
just wave.
Jose Abreu was on fire. On fire. I mean, he hit 4 home runs in 4 at-bats, 3 in that game Saturday night, and then he followed it up with one in his first at-bat yesterday. And they were all no-doubters. That was the hilarious part, that the homers the White Sox hit, they were not cheap at all, Lance.
I know, Jay, but let's talk back in the day.
Yeah.
If you hit 2-3 home runs in a row, you know how the next pitch was coming.
Oh, you wasn't getting a chance because they were about to bean you.
Exactly, you wasn't getting a chance. And I'm not saying, audience, I'm not telling any pitchers to bean anybody. But with that being said, when Lance C was pitching, if you hit a home off me, that next pitch, like my father told me, it should be no question where you throwing it.
Wow.
Everybody in the field in Little League knew I was throwing my fastball. I mean, man, bag him off the plate a little bit, give him something to think about. He was real comfortable. I mean, what you think, cuz?
I mean, yeah, he was definitely comfortable on the plate. But, you know, they don't, you know, the game has kind of changed, Lance. You know, back when you and I grew up, you know, yeah, that was what they were going to do. I mean, I think of Bob Gibson back in the day, you know, back when he was playing for the Cardinals in the 60s and 70s. And the players knew, like, oh, I hit a home off Bob. All right, I'm about to get hit. So, you know, they knew it kind of going up there next to bat. But the guys today, you know, they kind of funny about that. But, you know, I mean, I was never a home run hitter, so I ain't had to worry about it. You know, I wasn't – if I was hitting a homer, it was because your left fielder tripped and fell, and I got an inside the park homer. I wasn't no power hitter, so I didn't have to worry about that. But, yeah, you know, it was – I mean, he's on fire right now, and I think you got to do something to get Jose off the plate, you know. But, you know, I thought the White Sox just really had a very strong weekend. You know, even yesterday's game against you Darters, they played really well. And, you know, the Cubs, you know, I think they got some problems. I mean, you and I were talking before we went on the air here about the Cubs, and we'll talk about it in a few here with Joe. But, you know, you look at the Cubs batting averages, man, for their key people, Rizzo, Baez, Chris Bryant is out hurt. But, you know, Wilson Contreras, they kind of struggling, man.
They are struggling, Jay, and kind of like you said, if you look at the batting averages like we talked about, we said Baez was batting like, what, 200?
Yeah.
So Schwarber, he's been inconsistent. He hit some loss, but his batting average has been down. They all really batting below 250. So that's a struggle. And getting back to something you said a little bit earlier, not to change the subject, but it's on the subject, but off a little bit, talking about Joe Madden. They threw at Mike Trout this weekend twice, and Joe Madden said something. So, you know, there still is certain pitches that are try to ring your bell. And they was throwing them high and tight. And I felt for Trout, which I'm not saying you throw high and tight at people's head. But back to the subject, Jay, I think the Cubs, the bats need to pick it up. We say this every show. When are they going to start picking it up, though?
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, it's a short season. They're almost halfway home, so they better pick it up soon. So what can I say? But anyway, for those of you just joining us for the first time, welcome to What's Up, Cubs. We are a sports podcast based here out of the Chicago area. We were created in wake of the murder of George Floyd and some of the other social justice initiatives that try to fill some voids here in our society. And African Americans and sports talk is one of those voids. So Lance and I are here to fill it. So go ahead and download our app, SportsZone Chicago. You can download our app on the iTunes store, at Google Play, or on the Amazon store as well. So please go ahead and do that. Also, you can get at us during the show. Go ahead and tweet us. You can tweet us at SportsZone Chi, CHI, on Instagram at SportsZone Chicago. So you can definitely check us out there. Also, if you're watching us on Facebook, we appreciate that. Go ahead and put some comments there, and Maya will try to get them up on the screen. Also, if you're watching us on YouTube, you can put your comments in. We can put those on the screen as well. We want you to be a part of the show because we feed off of you all as well. So we had a poll question last week. You want to get to that one, Lance? The poll question?
Let's get to the poll question, but before you jump to the poll question, shout out to my main man, Corey Bradford, that old Docks, 321 East 35th Street. Woo! You know I love some fish.
I love me a fish wish.
And that fish wick sandwich with the Dockberry shake. I mean, I'm trying to stay in shape, and we have Kendall Gill coming on later, so I'm going to have to tell Kendall, I apologize if I'm not running that fast tomorrow. But that fish wick hit the spot, so shout out to my man, Corey Bradford. But what's the poll question, Jay?
So the poll
last week. Come on.
Yeah, we asked it last week. We asked what was the best duo in the NBA Western Conference. Okay. So we asked, was it LeBron James and Anthony Davis? Was it Russell Westbrook, James Harden? Was it CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard? Or was it Kawhi Leonard and Paul George? So guess who won?
Who won?
Harden and Westbrook.
Wow, interesting. But I might have to add another duo, Jay.
Okay.
Porzingis and that man Luka Doncic.
Yeah, Luka. Yeah, Luka with that game winner yesterday.
Ooh, that's a bad man, Jay. You go out and get 40 points, 17 rebounds, and 13 assists on a bad ankle.
Yeah, it was a very impressive performance by him. It was the talk of all the morning shows today, and the funny thing when people was like, "Oh my God, is there going to actually be a white European that's the best basketball player in the NBA now? Is that where the torch is going? Like that's a white heavyweight champion we got going on here." So I thought Luka, yeah, he did. He's been fantastic. I look at it kind of like I kind of look at it from a different perspective. When people brought that up, I was like, well, American ball players have gotten lack on their fundamental skills. And I mean, you know that as a coach. Mm-hmm. Luka got strong fundamental skills too. And that Euro style of play has come over into America and is shown to be very effective in the NBA. I remember back when Drazen Petrovic, who played with your brother for a little bit, Byron told us all the time that Drazen had a lot of game, lost his life, unfortunately, in a car accident. But, I think there are going to be more European players like Luka coming over here and making a name for themselves in the association.
Yeah, definitely. And those guys do come over with a nice skill set. And one thing I didn't know about Luka, I think they list him at 6'6", maybe.
Okay.
I looked at him yesterday. He was standing up by Paul George, and one of the guys, Luka, seemed like he might be about 6'8". So, I mean, but he has excellent footwork. He has all the pivot.
Yeah.
He can reverse pivot. He has all that. And the thing that separates him from some of the other guys is he can shoot it from deep. Real deep. I mean, that last shot he made, he stepped back, and that's 29, 30 footer that he made.
Yeah.
He crazy when he was walking off the court.
Yeah, he did. So, we asked that question, what was the best duo? So, Harden and Westbrook won, followed by LeBron and AD. They had 40%, but Westbrook and Harden had 60%. So we have no poll question this week, but we will have one next week. But those were the results of last week's kind of poll question. Other topics, we can kind of talk about before we bring on Joseph Phillips, who's going to be coming on here in a second. Our Chicago Sky. the ladies in the Chicago Sky. Their season is halfway over now. I think they've played 12 games, if I'm not mistaken, 12 or 13.
10 and 4. 10 and 4.
Yeah, 10 and 4, 14 games. So they're 10 and 4 in first place, rolling. Coach Wade has got the Sky. Man, he's got that team playing well, doesn't he?
Jay, he has been playing great. And, I love the Sky, and I love the way they play. And Coach Wade has been doing an excellent job. He has been hitting on all cylinders. But, they beat the Aces last week or the week before, and the Aces was on like a 6-game winning streak.
Yeah.
So shout out to the Sky. My only thing is, man, his star is logging a lot of minutes. Yeah. I think we need Stephanie Dawson back. I mean, Diamond minutes. She hasn't played as many minutes as I thought she would. But once we get those two back in the fold, with Diamond playing some more minutes, we should be fine. But shout out to Allie Quigley, Vandersloot, my girl Stevens. I mean, I really didn't know who Stevens was before this year. And Stevens is having a great year. I think she might be averaging about 12 a game. And
as is Copper.
Copper, like what, about 15 a game?
Yeah, Camilla Copper she's really playing some ball. I love Camilla Copper. And then, of course, our girl who joined us on the show, Gabby Williams, too.
Yeah, I like Gabby. And then Cheyenne Parker, too. So I think they have some pieces. I think they have a shot of winning it, Jay. So I wouldn't be shocked if they win it, but the Seattle Storm, no. Whoo, that's a bad team, Jay.
Yeah, that's a bad team. But, I mean, if you remember when we asked our poll question, we asked who was going to be the next Chicago team to win a championship, and the Sky finished second in our poll. They beat the Bulls. Well, the Bulls wasn't in the poll. They beat the Bears, they beat the Cubs, and they were second only behind the White Sox. And, I was very impressed with that. But they're just a really fun watch. Those young ladies are really putting it on the line, and they're representing Chicago in a good way. So, shout out to them, man. So, hey, we do have some guests on the show this week, too. Guess who we got coming on?
Who we have coming on? What cousin do we have coming on?
This week. So, we have our first returning guest in the history of our 7-week show. We have one guest who is making his second return, Eugene MacIntosh. He's going to be here along with his partner, Terrence Tomlin. They're going to talk about the Cubs and the Sox. Yeah, they're coming up at 6:30. The Bigs are coming on. So Terrence covers the White Sox and Eugene covers the Cubs. So we'll get the perspectives from both sides of town. They're coming up at 6:30. At 7 o'clock, oh, man, we keep getting good guests. Oh, my goodness. We've got one of our own from Chicago's south suburbs. He's currently the Chicago Bulls analyst for NBC Sports, former ILLINI, Mr. Kendall Hill. Is joining us.
AKA Mr. 6040.
There you go. I know that's your workout buddy there. But Kendall's going to join us at 7 p.m. We're going to talk about some Bulls, and they got the 4th pick in the draft in the lottery. And he's going to talk about the head coach search that's ongoing. So we're going to love to have Kendall. And then at 7:30, because our show is so versatile, we're bringing you a special guest all the way from down in Florida. Johaiza DeJesus is going to join us. You saw her ad last week that we ran here on the show. Johaiza is a special young lady. She's going to join us and tell us what she's doing in the modeling and fitness world. And she's a holistic physical fitness practitioner. So she's going to talk about that and her philosophy on having a healthy body. And she's going to talk about some things that are going on in her life and what took her down that path too. So she's representing women of color in an area that not a lot of women of color are in. So she's going to talk about that.
Jay, I'm excited. I can't wait to talk to her. I love fitness, and I can't wait to hear her talk about this subject.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Yeah, she's got a good story. So, once again, we are doing this show in conjunction with our partners, the Chicago Crusader Newspaper. They're the oldest weekly African-American newspaper in the city of Chicago, been published in over 80 years. So Mrs. Dorothy Lavelle and Sharon Fountain and Sally King and everybody else over there, we are doing this in conjunction with them. So we're going to bring on one of their staff writers. He joins us every week. He is the sports editor for the Chicago Crusader. He's also a Cubs fan, so I really want to talk to him. Joseph.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Cubs? What's up, Joe? How you doing, man?
For the Sox and Cubs, because he was the Sox and the Cubs.
Oh, Joe, boy. Well, Lance and I, we sticking our chests out here on this Monday show.
And why is that? Well,
the White Sox, they kind of beat the crap out of the Cubs.
Yeah. Guess what? Guess what, cuz? I predicted this, okay? I told Sean on the Sean and Maya show on Friday that the White Sox were going to try to make a statement against us because they haven't been doing it against other teams. They waited specifically for this moment to make a statement against us, and they did. And shout out to the Southside Hitman. Knocked out 12 home runs, 33 hits over a 3-game series. Your main man Jose Abreu smacked 6 in 3 days. I've never seen that before. Actually, I was covering the game on Saturday. I was actually there at Wrigley Field on Saturday.
Wait. How you get in?
Oh, because I was covering the team last year. I'm still. Yeah, I was there. Yeah, I was there.
Oh,
I'm gonna be there also. I guess at the end of the season when we play you guys again. But bottom line is, I got to saw it raw and in flesh.
Oh man,
Abreu just knocking that ball out the park like old school Glen Allen Hill. You know how you used to. He had that steroid strength, just putting the ball on. Yeah, no.
Wow.
But, shout out to Jose Abreu. My main man, Dallas Keuchel, shut us down on Friday night like he's supposed to. And like I said, the Cubs played scared the first 2 games of the series. I noticed there was fear in our heart. So you guys punked us out pretty good. But at the end of the day, Mr. U, got to send you a message on Sunday. We won the battle. We won the war.
Hey, Joseph, let me ask you something. Why do you say the Cubs were scared, though? Like, I don't think it was scared. I just think the Sox, that power took over. Why do you say they were scared, though? Like,
they were scared because, first of all, here's the deal. The Cubs, when it comes to the White Sox, a lot of times we don't take stuff that serious. Like, you guys talk a lot of trash.
Oh man, get out of here!
Y'all like to talk Cubs are like the passive aggressive. They like, look, man, we're not trying to fight y'all. Y'all be like, let's fight. Y'all like the little brother, that's trying to. So we be like, look, man, we're not trying to fight y'all. So y'all come in with y'all big boys, smacking the ball out the park, looking all pretty, walking around the base, popping your collars, got the gold chains on, no shirts on, like y'all 80s, throwback 80 guys, So I'm just like, man, they got the swag and everything. We just want to make peace with y'all.
No peace.
No peace. So they just try to beat us down, man. We didn't even try to fight them, man. Y'all some bullies, man.
But Jason, I thought Kyle Hendricks pitched an excellent game. He had that one or two pitches could have went either way, but I think y'all bullpen though, Joseph.
Yeah, that bullpen. Man. Yeah, that bullpen. Yeah. We at the end of the day, I was reading an article the other day, and I talked about this on the last show, just about the importance of having long relief. And a perfect example of that helped you guys pretty much pull off game 2 when Gio Gonzalez came in the game, and he pitched after Lopez came out. He pretty much finished the Cubs off. He actually pitches well against the Cubs for some reason prior to him joining the White Sox. So he got our number pretty much. So y'all pretty much had our number from top to bottom. And like I said, y'all are sluggers. But if I was the manager, I wouldn't pitch to none of you guys. Like I said, they kept pitching to Jose Abreu. After 2 home runs, you should have walked him for the rest of the series. Throwing the ball in the zone. Are you kidding me? So at the end of the day, hey, those Southside Hitman, y'all sent the message, and I think y'all proved y'all point. And right now, we're the Cubs, but guess what? At the end of the day, we probably meet in that red line series. And I'm telling you now, we're coming for you.
Oh, so that's when y'all gonna be ready to play. All right, okay.
I'm trying to act like it's over, but we coming for y'all.
See,
We ain't done yet.
I know, Lance. I'm with you, cuz. Don't you ain't gotta say nothing.
Don't think y'all getting away with it.
We don't change the subject. Just ask you what you writing about this week. What you writing about this week beside the Cubs?
Yeah, good way to switch it up. So here's the deal. I'll be writing about the Chicago Football Classic. Inc. giving away a 16-seater van to HSI, and that's Habilitative Systems Incorporated. It's a nonprofit on Chicago's west side who specializes in human services. So I just did a story on that. I sent that in last night. In addition to that, also I'll be doing a story on the Southside Wolfpack football team, who just recently did a call to action press conference at Jackson Park, which is where they play Coach Ernest Ratcliffe and his mini-me's. You know, they soldiers, man. I mean, he helped produce so many young pros, etc., through the field of baseball, football. But he has a current call to action to Mayor Lori Lightfoot and Governor J.B. Pritzker to counter some of the crime that's going on in the community through sports vehicles. So that was one of the stories. And then the last story, I'm actually doing a 3-game breakdown on the Cubs versus White Sox series that took place this week. I give like a small game recap of Game 1, Game 2, and Game 3. And, just show the White Sox a lot of love, how y'all dominated from start to finish. And that this is a good message to send to the Cubs that, hey, we're not going anywhere. We know you guys, y'all the Cubs. We're like the little brothers in the community. We're sending you a message, pretty much, I'm
really interested in reading your article on the Chicago Football Classic and what they are doing. I mean, the Classic has become a part of one of our community events that we look forward to every year in Chicago. And unfortunately, due to COVID, they had to cancel the game. And, a lot of people don't understand. It's not just that game. That entire weekend, they are going about raising monies for scholarships for students from our communities to attend historically Black colleges and universities. Yeah. There's golf outings. There's the Battle of the Bands. There's a college fair that's associated with it. There's a lot of things that come with that weekend in Chicago, and it really is big for our community. So it's unfortunate that COVID is taking that away this year, but I'm very happy to hear they're still trying to do some stuff that is community kind of involvement. And of course, anyone who's trying to do anything to lessen the gun violence and just the overall violence that we're having in Chicago right now, and what Coach Ratcliffe is doing, I think that's very admirable, kind of as well. What was your feel when you were interviewing Coach about what he's doing with that football program, and his feeling that he needed to do stuff that was past football, but it would also benefit the community as a whole?
Well, Coach Ratcliffe has always been an advocate in the community, just with his, his father playing in the Negro Leagues. He always has that background to go out there and help the community. I grew up, being friends with him from the YMCA. He used to work there. He used to let us play on 63rd Street. He was always a serious guy, and he's never changed. His character's always been the same. He's always trying to help out the youth. He's always giving you great advice, and he's always serious about his cause. And he had over 50 to 100 people out there. They call it the community huddle. Made up of doctors, community activists, etc. Just to, pretty much push the agenda of trying to give youth an alternative to play sports, so that they won't have to be subject to the violence that takes place in the city on a daily basis. And last, Coach Ratcliffe, like I said, he loves the game of baseball. Worked with Morgan Park over there, Coach Mike McKinnis, and as Mr. Irvin, Nick is over there too. So Nick is at another school now, but they know each other. So what I'm saying is that everything's full circle. They're just doing their things just on a different level.
No, Coach does an excellent job. I've been a fan of Coach for a long time. But Jay, let me ask you about my Blackhawks, Joseph. They were Jason Palmer Blackhawks. Not in my Blackhawks. We didn't end the year like we wanted to, But I think we had a good season, at least the last part of the season. Could you talk about the Blackhawks a little bit for me, please?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I said, I think the Blackhawks overachieved. You know, they actually held it down. You know, just pretty much making it past the first round against the Edmonton Oilers, which most people had them leaving in the first round. So once I saw them get past, you know, like the Oilers, I was like, man, this season is a wrap. Y'all overachieved, you know. And I know most people's like, no, we want a Stanley Cup championship. But, you know, shout out to Corey Crawford, who probably just saved his career, you know, by going out and still performing on a veteran superstar level. And as I told Sean on the Sean and Myers show, I said there's that next level, and then there's that next level. And like I said, most of that core, they understand that. So this year, you know, you can go back in the off season, look in the mirror, you know, encourage the young guys that when you out here playing and you have an opportunity to play in the playoffs, there's more than just one level. There's that Stanley Cup level that you have to take your game up to. And that's what was missing with this core, because some guys were ready to go home, and then some guys were looking forward to going to the next round. They competed hard, but they didn't give their 100% best shot at that Las Vegas Golden Knights team.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, I thought the effort was actually there for the most part. There were a couple players, though, that I was very disappointed in. Alex DeBrincat has to do more. Right. He gave them not what they needed. Right. He's supposed to be one of the core members of this team. You know, his breakout year was last year, and he didn't do anything for them all season. It seemed like he got worse, you know, in the playoffs with Edmonton. So I was really disappointed in his play. Alex Nylander is just a waste. We need to trade him for a bag of hockey pucks. And Dylan Strome, he's another one. He's got to do more. You know, they got to do more. Now, I thought the young players on defense did very well for the Blackhawks. You know, even though my man Boquist gave up that game-winning goal in the series clinching game, he was just out of position. Right. But, you know, I think, you know, you have to look at him like he's a freshman. Mm-hmm. You know, so we have freshmen who made the playoffs. And like you said, Coach Lance, you know, that experience for them, you know, you being a coach, Lance, I mean, how big is experience for young players in the playoffs?
Yeah. I mean, that means a lot. I mean, because, you know, once you've been there, then you've been there. And that experience means a lot because you get used to playing. The playoff hockey, all these sports, the playoffs is totally different. I mean, the refs different. Players play a little bit harder. The game is more intense, and it's a lot more pressure when you playing in the playoff, in any playoff. So, I mean, I'm happy they made it, Jay. But what's your thoughts about the coaching, Jay? I thought Coach Jeremy did a nice job myself, but you're the hockey expert. Break it down.
Well, you know, I was harsh on Jeremy earlier in the year. You know, I thought I was critical of him when he needed to be critical of. I thought, you know, he juggles around with the line so much, it doesn't give your players a chance to really get into a rhythm. But I think a lot of that was Jeremy trying to find himself. You know, I think when Jamal Mayers came on our very first show, he explained it. That Jeremy's going to need some time to learn as an NHL coach. He's going to need time to learn from his players. And, you know, unfortunately, the guy was replacing a legend. He didn't get a full season his first year. He didn't get a full season his second year because of Corona. So, I mean, you got to be somewhat lenient with the guy. As long as the players have not given up on him, which they have not, I think you got to give him another year. You know, but after next year, then you need to know what you're going to do going forward. You know, I'm still concerned about their power play, but I thought the penalty kill got a lot better. You know, so I saw growth from this team, but I also saw areas of regression, and that concerns me. And, you know, we'll see what they do next year when they come back. But, you know, again, next season is also probably going to be a shortened season because they're probably not going to start until December at the earliest. So, you know, you're still in a situation where he's not really going to get a full season in.
Jason and Lance. Yeah, Jason and Lance. I just had a quick question for you guys, just to add to what you're saying. I know that most people felt that the Hawks team wasn't out there, you know, like trying to stop the puck like putting their bodies on the line, like sacrificing, like the Las Vegas Golden Knights were doing. And one of the analogies that I use is that, how on a basketball court, you got your pretty boys where, they want to score all the time, but they don't want to get dirty.
They need somebody to do the dirty work is what you say.
Right. They didn't want to do the dirty work. So I kind of looked at that from that perspective, like, you don't want to get your hands dirty, you want to get your knees dirty, but you got to dive on it. You got to dive on the floor for those balls. You got to stop.
Yeah, I agree with you, Joe. I agree with you. I think, they need some grit. You need some grit. Everybody can't be a skilled player. Everybody can't be just blessed with speed and you're going to outscore people. You got to have people who are willing to work in the corners, dig the puck out, people who are willing to battle down low in front of the crease. And they don't have that. So, we'll see what they do. We're going to take our first break here. Joe, hang on with us. We're going to take our first commercial break. We'll be right back on What's Up, Cuz.
See me. See me.
See me. See my dark skin and my kinky hair.
See me. Don't see past me.
Don't see through me.
See me.
See my tan skin and my curly hair.
See me.
Don't see past me.
Don't see through me.
See me.
See my face, wet with tears from years of oppression.
See my hands, weathered and worn from decades of pulling myself up through your society.
See my feet split from centuries of walking your delicate line.
See me.
See me.
See me.
I'm tired.
I'm tired.
I'm tired.
Welcome back, everybody, to What's Up, Cuz. I'm your host, Jason Palmer, along with my cousin, the coach, Lanny Irvin. We're joined by Joseph Phillips of the Chicago Crusader Newspaper. So, Joe, as we get ready to go forward here, Blackhawk season has now ended. What do you think they need to add going into next season?
They definitely need some defensive players, some physical defensive players, guys that can send a message. The old school Bob Probert type, guys that ain't afraid to scrap it up with you so that you can protect the pretty boys on the squad. You gotta have those enforcers, like Big Papa Buff, Dustin Buffalo, those guys that can, lay down the licks on guys that feel that they can bully our guys around. So hopefully that's something they can look into in the offseason, beef up our defense a little bit. I think the offense is there. It's just a matter of learning how to play both ends of the hockey ring. A lot of the young guys, like I said, it's not just about finesse. You can't just have finesse. You got to have the physicality to go along with the finesse also.
Yeah, I agree. Lisa Foster asked one quick question. Do you think Corey Crawford will be back, Joe?
Oh, that's a good one, baby, because he put the Sox between a rock and a hard place. right now, I don't think he's going to be back next year. Like I said, I think this is what I think, because either he's going to do two things. He's going to retire as a Hawk, or he's going to go somewhere else and come back and retire as a Hawk. What I'm saying is that I think that we saw the last of Corey Crawford in this series, which was I think the way he went out was the best way he can go out, which was playing his best hockey, And I think that put other teams on notice. And he probably getting the call right now as he sleep,
Interesting.
Hey, Joseph, I just have to say, like my little cousin talked to me about this about 2 weeks ago. What heir apparent do we have in the wings for Corey Crawford? If we lose Corey Crawford, who do we have? We got Subban, if I pronounced it right. Who else? Who cousin Jason? Not really sure of. I'm not really sure of because he didn't log a lot of minutes. But we might have to pay him for 1 more year, then try to groom somebody, or I don't know who else that we could bring in. And in my research, the pickings seem a little slim right now.
Right. So here's the deal. When you're in a situation like that and you're making the transition and you're trying to get rid of a veteran goalie, you better make sure you have a plan B in place to replace that veteran goalie. Right. And right now, like I said, I think the Hawks do have a plan. They probably go out and make a trade. You never know. Probably pick up another veteran goalie who has playoff experience, or they probably call somebody up from the minors that might pretty much might fit the style of play that they're trying to do. Like the Hawks, it seems like they want to have a more up-tempo style, puck, but if you're trying to win a Stanley Cup, you have to play both ends of the ice. So it's going to be a combination of physical style and finesse. And then with the goalie, we can get a goalie in there where he don't have to be a Corey Crawford, but if we can limit the shots on goal, like Corey.
Defense will help him.
Exactly. So better defense should help whoever this next goal is coming in. So that's a good question there.
Yep. All right. Well, Joseph, thank you so much for joining us. Joseph Phillips from Chicago Crusader. You can check out his work at www.chicagocrusader.com. Thanks, Joe.
All right. God bless you guys.
Thanks, Joseph.
All right. Let's bring in our next guest right away. He is from the Bigs. He covers the Chicago Cubs. He is a hustler. Chicago's own Eugene MacIntosh from the Bigs. What's up, Gene?
Peace to my brothers, man. It's always good to see you guys. What's happening, bro?
Oh, man, we're doing good. We're doing good, man. I know you was working this weekend. Is this just one of the best series for you to cover?
Oh, always, man. I wish the fans would have been able to be in attendance for it, but, that's my job to hold it down for everybody that couldn't physically be there. And I'm pretty sure White Sox fans were happy with the outcome. I'm pretty sure Cubs fans were happy that they didn't get swept and got to take that last game, because the saying, and Lance, as a coach, I'm pretty sure you say it a lot. You're only good as your last game. So the Cubs can go out with that on their backs, but things are looking good for the White Sox and the White Sox fans. That was definitely a great series this weekend.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think, all those White Sox fans, we're out pumping up our chests, and your partner Terrence is logging on now. I see him is here. Let's go ahead and bring Terrence Tomlin on. Your buddy, he covers the White Sox, and he is representing as well. Look at that Sox gear he's representing. What's up, T? Oh, we got you muted there, T.
What's going on, brothers?
There we go.
What's up, T? How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Hey, I was just saying you got to make sure you representing after the way the White Sox regulated up over there at Wrigley the last few games. So I just wanted to make sure I'm representing and holding it down the right way.
Yeah, without a doubt, man. I mean, what is it like for you when you get to cover a series like this, the White Sox and the Cubs? I know how Eugene feels.
Oh, no, it's always special. The Crosstown series is one of those that both of us grew up loving and paying attention to, and having a chance to cover it for our own independent media company is something that me and Gene don't take lightly. It's something that you guys know we're passionate about. We have a lot of fun doing.
You know what? The question that I have when I watch these two teams play is the pitching. Like, I think I'm not too sure about the pitching. I like the Cubs starters, but their bullpen is kind of shaky. I like a couple of the Sox starters. Can y'all talk to me about the pitching from each ball club? Because I think it's key if they're gonna make a run.
Well, I think the Cubs pitching, the brass of the pitching, you know, Kyle Hendricks, Yu Darvish, John Lester. Alec Mills is fairly new. We know Jose Quintana has been on the injured list with the thumb injury. So we'll just go with those three. You know, those guys are basically like old school. I mean, Yu Darvish is kind of, I mean, in age, he's an older guy at 34. But, you know, this new era of pitching, guys are, you know, high heaters throwing 96, 97, upwards to 100 miles per hour. And we got a guy like John Lester and a guy like Kyle Hendricks who are more, you know, from the old school Greg Maddux type of guys who use control, command, location, and things of that nature. Velocity is like the last thing on their pitching belt. You know, they're kind of the older school of pitching. So, you know, their approach and their technique is a little bit different. But if it wasn't for the starting pitching and the pitching in general for the Cubs would probably be in third or fourth place. So you got to give a shout out to the starting pitching who kind of held it down when the bullpen was struggling at first. And then, you know, the last I'll say half. I'll say 3 out of the last 6 or 4 out of the last 8 haven't been quality starts from the Cubs starters. So the bullpen has kind of picked up the pace right there. So give a big, huge shout out to Cubs pitching for holding the Cubs down in this first half of the season.
What's your thoughts, Terrence, on the White Sox pitching?
Well, on the South side, man, I would actually have to say that the pitching has gone a little bit under the radar because you've seen the guys so far this year go on a couple of long winning streaks. And I know the offense has been getting a lot of attention, but you don't get those, you know, those long winning streaks if the pitching isn't on point as well. When you look at the White Sox team as a whole, you're talking about a young team, a team that's still growing. When you look at their rotation, it's anchored by a young arm. It's anchored by Lucas Giolito, who was in. You heard a lot of Cy Young talk around his name last season. So far this year, he had a little bit of a rocky start, but if you saw him a few days ago, he matched his career high with 13 Ks. Yeah. And that's exactly what you want to see out of your ace. But then after that, the White Sox had to go out and spend some money and brought home Dallas Keuchel, who's been everything that you would hope a top free agent signing would be. He's been a leader on the squad. He's been a leader in the rotation. And we know as much from, you know, the other guys in the rotation that every time we get a chance to talk to him, they echo those sentiments saying that Dallas Keuchel has come in and has been a real solid voice for the guys to learn from. But then after Dallas Keuchel, you're looking at guys like Dylan Cease, who came over in that Cubs trade with Eloy. He took the L yesterday, but you had to have liked what you saw from him if you're looking at the future. And then you look at guys like Dane Dunning, who got the first start of his career the last time around the rotation. You got to like what he has, hitting 97, 98 on the gun. So right now, like you said, Lance, man, in baseball, pitching is so important. It's really, you know, how you become successful. You can't get to the ultimate heights without, you know, pitching, without having that solid rotation, having solid arms. And I think the White Sox are on the road to having that. You know what I mean? I didn't even get a chance to mention Michael Kopech, who opted out of the season due to COVID-19. But we all saw what he could do in the 3 starts that he's had as a White Sox, over 100 miles per hour with his fastball and some devastating breaking stuff. So you got to like where the White Sox rotation is headed.
Hey, Gene, I got a problem though, Gene. What's up with the Cubs hitters right now? Baez batting what, 200? Schwarber been up and down. KB is hurt. I mean, what's up with the hitting over there on the north side?
Hey, it's baseball, Lance. It's baseball, man. Every team goes through that. You know, I think me and Terrence talked about it yesterday. You know, with it being such a shortened season with only 60 games, I think there's more of an onus on, you know, there's more of a focus on thing. So I'm saying if this was a regular 162 game season, obviously we noticed the slumps, but there wouldn't be so much focus on it because there would be 130 games left to play. But being that we're almost halfway through, you know, the focus is on that. So, but also, this is the same team who struggled offensively the last 2 years.
Okay.
Mightily, might I add. So, you know, this is on Theo Epstein and the front office, because the last 2 years, as we've talked to Theo in the, you know, the press conference, you know, right after the last game of the season, his main thing is that he thinks that the problem is inside the clubhouse, and he felt like he didn't need to make any major moves offensively to add to the offense. I mean, we did add Steven Souza Jr. and Jason Kipnis, who are veteran players more than, you know, want to be offensive sparks, we would say. But I mean, I really think that he's giving these guys a chance to kind of show that either these guys are going to grow and develop, or this is just who they are. A guy like Kyle Schwarber, who we thought may have taken a turn for the better last year, you know, a guy like Albert Almora Jr., who's still not hitting right-handed pitching, who's still not hitting the curveball, you know, a guy like Javi, you know, I'm not worried about him. I'm not sure what's going on. You know, he looks fine physically. I don't know, you know, it's got to be a mental thing. I'm not sure if it may be something going on, you know, at home, because, you know, things aren't all good in Puerto Rico. So it could be some things affecting him, you know, at home. Like Wilson, same thing with Wilson Contreras. Some things could be going on in Venezuela that, you know, we're not completely aware of. And again, I don't know for sure, but I'm just, you know, I'm trying to think about everything that's going on. So I think it's just a slump. It's baseball. And, you know, these guys that they're championship caliber guys that, you know, they got the championship characteristics, you know, they never give in. And you just got to stick to the script, and eventually, you know, knowing what you do, you've been through it all, seen it all. And eventually all it takes is one swing to get you back to where you need to be. So again, I'm not worried. They're 3 games up due to the beautiful start to the season. So if this is going on with 10 games left and they fighting for this #1 seed in the NL Central, then we can talk. But don't panic yet, Lance. I feel you 100%, but take it easy. Don't panic. Let the guys do them, and I think everything will be cool.
Gotcha. Terrence, question for you in regards to the White Sox. Yohan Moncada, we know he didn't join the team at the beginning of the restart because he had tested positive for COVID. We've seen Coach Renteria sit him a couple of times here since the restart to give him a day of rest, and I know he's been dealing with some leg issues. The thing I've noticed about Yohan is that he seems as though he's back to the 2018 season where he's not being aggressive early in the at-bat. He's taking those pitches again and putting himself in a tough spot where he's swinging with 2 strikes, where last year, his breakout year, he seemed to be in control of the count and just being aggressive up there. Is that something you've kind of noticed, or is there something else that's going on with Yohan that we're not sure of?
No, absolutely. I totally notice it. You know what I mean? When you watch Yohan, you know off the back that he's one of those guys on the team that has that crazy elite talent and potential. So when you see him at the plate taking a lot of pitches that you would normally expect him to crush, it's definitely, you know, caught my attention for sure. But then when you look at him yesterday, I thought it was, you know, it was worth mentioning yesterday that it was obvious that Yohan Moncada is not 100%. We saw him make a couple of errant throws in that game. Fortunately, they didn't come back to bite the squad. But those are definitely throws that you are used to seeing Yohan make. And then you saw him kind of wobble off the field a little bit. So I feel like it's a question of is Ricky willing to sit him to avoid whatever's going on with him getting worse? I mean, 100% of Yohan really makes a difference on the White Sox squad. And if you're not able to give that, I mean, you got to go ahead and let him heal up on the oak, you know?
Right, without a doubt. Fellas, let's talk a little bit about Luis Robert, the rookie sensation for the White Sox. One thing that came out of the series is that he's strong. Another thing that came out that I noticed, and I think the Cubs took advantage of it definitely yesterday,
he's a rookie.
He can't play off a low outside slider to save his life. And if he swings at it, he's trying to pull it. And Eugene, you and I both know you got to take that to right field.
Yeah, man. I think, like you said yesterday, what did he strike out 4 times, or did he strike out 5?
It was up to
at least 4.
I couldn't.
I think he may have K'd. Let me check my stats real quick, man. I think he K'd. Yeah, he K'd 4. He was 0 for 4 yesterday. So I mean,
he's like the exact opposite of Yohan.
Yeah, it's rookie growth, man. It's it's gonna take a minute. They threw him right in the fire, and a guy with that type of ability, a guy with that speed, that agility, the ability to play center field at that level already. You gotta grow with him at the plate. It's gonna take a couple years to really become who he wants to be at that stage. But again, like you said, we saw the power, we see everything, we see what he's capable of, and he's locked in for the next 8 years. And I think it's great to have him and Eloy locked in for the next 8, and then to have Tim Anderson and Jose Abreu locked in for the next few years. That's definitely gonna bode well for those guys. So I'm not worried about Luis's. He's just gonna have to grow. Some grow quicker than others, though. So give him a chance. Chance.
And let me add this. We saw similar things with guys like Tim, and you mentioned Jay with Yohan. Coming into the league their rookie years and not really being themselves at the plate. You know what I mean? So I think what Lance is trying to say, just get a man a little time. Just give him a little time, and we'll see Luis turn into a monster. Like Gene said, it's all been on display, and definitely I'm looking forward to the days where he does have a little bit more patience at the plate, because it's going to be lethal. Definitely going to be a big problem.
Yeah. Because the one thing I just like to add, it's kind of like you both were saying, when you're a rookie, like, it's growing pains you have to go through in any sports. And the way you learn is, man, you got to get up there and hit. And one thing he has shown us is power. And he'll learn, well, let me lay off this, or, let me guess first pitch fastball. So, I mean, I like what he's been doing thus far. But the one I've been impressed with Hap. Like really watching, like, I think Hap is having a great year. At least from the hitting standpoint. Talk to me about Hap. Like, how you feel about Hap? You think Hap has been playing over his head, or is he just like that?
No, I think this is going back to what we were saying earlier about guys and their growth. And Theo giving these guys a chance to be who they really are, because, these guys have seen it all. Theo and Jed Hoyer and Jason McLeod and everybody, all the scouts and the front office people, they've done their due diligence on these guys. So they know everything, every inch of these guys' potential, every positive, every negative. And Ian Happ has definitely been one of the guys who they're trying to hang their hat on. And again, it takes some guys longer than others. Like I hate to use Albert Almora as my
your whipping boy.
and that's my boy. I love Al. Al is my boy. I love him to death. But he's the prime example of a guy who just hasn't grown at the plate. Whereas Ian Happ, and again, Ian Happ is a switch hitter. So obviously he swings the bat better from the left side than the right side. But being a switch hitter, that's another notch that you have to take on. And that's just, something else that you have to develop. And again, with the scouting reports and everybody knowing, your strengths and weaknesses, I think it just took Ian Happ a little bit longer to get to it. But like me and Terrence talked about the other day, being sent down, being a part of the Major League Ball Club, and then being sent down to AAA for the majority of a season, that'll put things in perspective for you real quick, and that'll get you in gear. And that'll put your work ethic and everything else back to square one. And I think you got to give a great shout out to Ian Happ, because if there was an all-star game, he would definitely be one of the Cubs, maybe only all-stars, along with Yu Darvish.
Gotcha. Terrence, the White Sox dealing with some injuries. So are the Cubs. I know Chris Bryant was out for that series. I missed him. I think he would have made a little bit of a difference in that series. White Sox still would have whooped that ass, though. But Carlos Rodon, any update on Carlos? We saw Ray Lopez come back for a couple innings there, and then the loss of Lurie Garcia, who's a very versatile guy. What can you tell us for the White Sox in terms of on that injury front right now?
Yeah, it's been real busy. on the injury front with the White Sox. Just look at a guy like Danny Mendick, who's been filling in for Nick Madrigal. Mendick has been playing so well, we haven't heard Nick Madrigal's name a lot. But that just speaks to the next man up mentality and the depth of the squad right now. Losing Louis Garcia, one of the veterans on the squad, it's definitely huge for a young team like the White Sox. But also, they're still dealing with a few things. But for a guy like Rodon, the last update that Ricky gave us, and they keep it close to the chest the same way they did with Ronaldo Lopez, is that, he's definitely working his way back. I think that they'll be more inclined to give him some time in the bullpen when he does come back. That's been a conversation around his name for a little bit now, and I think just the latest injury is kind of backing him into a corner with Rodon, because one thing you can't deny with him is that he has the stuff. You look at his pitching arsenal, and he looks like a starting pitcher. He just cannot stay healthy. And but I don't think that the White Sox are ready to call it quits on him. So I'm thinking that they're going to get a little bit creative with him when he comes back.
Couple more minutes here. Once again, we're being joined by Terrence Tomlin and Eugene MacIntosh of the Bigs. And couple more minutes left in the segment, guys, and I couldn't let you go without asking you guys this. Your personal story, you're an independent media company, which is something that a lot of us are striving for. You guys went out there and did it. Eugene, just tell me how you guys came together and did what you guys did. Because I'm very proud of both of you, by the way, just for going out there doing that and making that step, being a veteran journalist myself. And I think your story is important on how you all actually got to where you are.
Well, to kind of, it's not an intricate story, but it has some layers to it. But to kind of, put it in perspective, basically, I was working at a law firm. Lance knows how far, you guys know my rich sports history coming from Mount Carmel, playing with Twan and Donovan McNabb. I played college baseball at Southern University. So, I have a rich sports history, sports background. I was working in law for like 13 years. We got outsourced. Somebody came in, took our jobs. I didn't have anything to do. I know I wanted to do something in sports. As much as I love sports, as much as sports played a part of my life, I knew I wanted to do something. Terrence was a friend of mine, for a few years already. He was managing editor at the Chicago Defender, the historic, Black newspaper. He would come through. We would just chop it up about sports and talk. And one day he just asked me, he's like, man, I think you would be perfect for what I'm trying to do. And basically what he was trying to do was branch off from the Defender and start his own company. And we just put two and two together, and I'm like, so man, you telling me I can go in the Bulls locker room and interview D Rose? He was like, man, that ain't nothing. And here we are, man, 6 years later. We've done interviews with D Rose, KD, Carmelo Anthony, did the Cubs World Series in 2016. Preps, pros, Lance, we've been to Chicago State. Nick Irvin, his younger brother, is a big, huge family of the Bigs. And it's been a fun ride, man. I got to thank Terrence for, looking out for me and believing in me and thinking that I would be perfect for what he was trying to do. So here we are, man.
I can only pick.
How you recall, or is Eugene taking too much credit?
No, you know what? Eugene ain't never told a lie. In the 5 years that we've been doing our thing, man, he's been the best partner I could possibly ask for. The only thing I can piggyback on what he said and is just to say, this branched off from a mutual friendship. From conversations, knowing what we wanted out of life. Neither one of us are the type to just sit back and just, let life pass us by. So we saw an opportunity to do something special and we jumped at it, and we've been at it for 5 years now and are looking at, trying to do it for the next 5. So, I got to thank Eugene for always saying yes. Never, doing anything but what was supposed to be done, was had to be done. So, no, that's the Bigs right there for you in a nutshell, for sure.
Well, guys, once again, we appreciate you all coming on. Tell everybody where we can find your work.
I know you guys can lock in with us on our social media pages. I'm at Tomlin Does It. The mothership is at It's the Bigs across all formats on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. Search It's the Bigs. You'll find everything that we've done over the last 5 years.
And hold on, and I guess we'll break the news. We'll give these brothers the first drop.
The
exclusive drop for What's Up, Cuz. Y'all get the first exclusive Biggs Media news, man. Starting tomorrow from 1 to 3 every Tuesday and Thursday, you can catch us on 1570 AM. That's What's in It for the Black People Media. What's in It for Black People Media? It's you can catch us on Maze Jackson's Facebook Live page. That's basically the mothership of Maze Jackson. We're gonna be on live with him Tuesday and Thursday. Also, they got I Said What I Said Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 1 to 3. And now Mike Love and the Diz are back.
Wow.
Mike Love and the Diz are back. I think they may be on every day. I'm not sure, but I know they're 3 to 6, at least Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So What's in It for the Black People Media, 1570 AM, Maze Jackson's Facebook page. Catch the Bigs there and catch the rest of the guys. It's going up from here, man.
You heard it here first, folks. You heard it here on What's Up. And that is what we're talking about. We are collaborating the Black media in Chicago. We are not fighting against each other. We are working with each other. We are uplifting each other up on all of these platforms, whether it's in newspaper, radio, podcast, television. We are working together. We heard the message from George Floyd, and we are sticking together. We're going to uplift our community. Guys, thanks a lot. We'll be right back. Coming up with Kendall Gill.
Thank you.
Love, man. Keep pushing, man. Keep pushing, brothers.
Appreciate y'all. Appreciate it. Keep doing it.
Yeah.
Blessings, everyone. It is Johaiza DeJesus, your holistic fitness expert and health educator professional. Your girl is running for Miss Health and Fitness 2020 and to appear on the cover of Muscle and Fitness Hers magazine. Help me make this dream a reality by daily voting. Go to MissHealthAndFitness.com and get your daily votes every day until October 8th. Thank you for tuning in. Here, streaming live Mondays, the What's Up Cuz Show with Lance Irvin and Jason Palmer, 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Welcome back, everybody, to What's Up Cuz. I'm your host, Jason Palmer, along with my cousin, Lance C. Irvin. Lance, what do you think about that big news?
You know what? That's great. And I always liked those guys because the thing I loved about them, Jay, I always saw them out working. And, you know, and nothing, you can substitute nothing for hard work. and I would see them at every high school game. I would go to an NBA game. I see them at an NBA game. So I always saw them working, and I like what they're doing. And shout out to the Bigs, Jay. I mean, I can't say enough about them. I'm so proud of them, man, and I figure that you're proud about them too.
Oh, without a doubt, man. You know, anytime I see young brothers, especially young brothers, going into the media, because right now there are more sisters in the media industry than there are brothers, without a doubt. More black women, and you're starting to see black women make an entrance into the sporting genre of news too. You know, which is not something we've seen historically in the past. So I'm glad to see that as well. But you know, I'm always glad to see brothers. You know, black men in America, we got to deal with a lot of crap. And it takes a lot of guts to say, you know, I'm going to do this on my own. I'm going to strike out on my own and do this, whether you want to do freelancing, whether you want to start your own company, you know, whatever you want to do. It's hard to do that as a black man. And, you know, we have to support each other when we're doing these things. These guys are doing something that they're giving you a great product, great knowledge. They've got the background to do it. You heard what Gene said. He was working in the law industry for 13 years, you know.
I never knew that, Jay. Like when he said it, I was like, I never asked him what else did he do. But like you just touched on something that's very interesting to me, Jay. You said it's hard out here. So is it hard for journalists getting started, or what's the hardest part about getting into the business?
The hardest part about getting into business is actually getting a job and then working your way through the industry. You know? I mean, the first part, usually when you come out of school as a journalist, you're working in Maine or New Hampshire or Wyoming, you know, some real small market. And then, you know, you covering these crazy stories and you do that for a couple of years and, you know, you work your way up and, you know, hopefully you get a break and get a really good story that everybody's interested in. And then you get to one of the mid-major markets. You know, it's kind of like basketball coaching. You start out in a small school, then you move up to a mid-major, then maybe you get a job in a Power 5 as an assistant or maybe as a head coach. I mean, for me, I went the complete opposite path in that, you know, I came right out of Chicago State and went into the third largest media market in the country in Chicago. You know, I just got lucky. I had some connections here in Chicago, so I never had to do the whole Maine, South Dakota tour. But, you know, what those guys did is phenomenal, you know. But I tell everybody in the media business is about who you know and what you know. You know, who you know because you need sources who can get you the correct information and what you personally know about subjects. So it's a lot of research involved and, you know, you got to be able to present the information to the public as a whole and have good communication skills. And if you've got that, you know, you can kind of roll with it. So, you know, the NBA playoffs are going on, Lance. Let's talk about it a little bit. But, you know, before I talk about it, you know, I'm going to bring up, there's some breaking news today. The Philadelphia 76ers have fired their coach.
Jay, you touched on that weeks ago. And, you know, for 7 weeks, I was speaking up for the 76ers, speaking up for Coach Brown, Fred Brown, saying MB, Simmons, they can do it. And it finally dawned on me last week. Last week, I had enough. I said I was through. I was done. And watching those guys play a couple of games this week, Jay, I was kind of like, I was just shaking my head about them because with that being said, though, it seemed like I hate using the word quit. I'm not going to say the word quit. But I thought they could have played a little bit harder. And I was questioning a little bit were they playing as hard as they can possibly play. And one thing, when Tobias Harris came back in the game after he was hurt, I was happy that he came back. Not saying I want anybody to play hurt, but Philadelphia fans, they really like grit, grind, bruise, whatever you can do. And I just thought the hustle and stuff was lacking. That's the part about them, Jay, I was disappointed about.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I told you I didn't have any faith in that team from the beginning, just because you know, and I thought the coach didn't have any control of the team. You know, it's an unfortunate situation, but you know, he'll probably get another job. They'll come back, but you know, the Sixers are, you know, that happened. But you know, there've been some other games going on. What happened today? What else happened around the league today? What did Houston do? I know they were playing.
Houston lost to the OKC Thunder. They need Russell Westbrook. Can't come back fast enough. The series tied 2-2. And my thing about that series, Jay, when you give young fellas, let them get confidence.
Right.
Shea Gilders, Alexander, Baisley, and those guys. I mean, when you get them confidence with the Chris Paul sparking those guys, talking to them, making them feel really good about themselves, that's when you can have problems. They don't have nothing to lose right now. And one thing the Houston Rockets need to do, live by the three, die by the three. In certain games, they die by it. But it's hard when you're playing without an integral part of your team. Like Russell brings it every day. He's a little bit better on the defensive end than people think. So that being said, man, they got to step it up on defense a little bit more. But the one series, Jay, that's been real interesting, that's going to be interesting too, is that Dallas Mavericks series and the Clippers. That right there, that's a fight. But I'm gonna wait for our next guest. I'm gonna let him talk about it. I'm gonna let Mr. 15-year NBA veteran talk about that himself. I'm gonna say in my lane because he actually played.
I know.
I'm gonna let him talk. I'm just gonna sit and listen and give him the floor.
All right, well, let's go ahead and bring him in. He is a 15-year veteran of the NBA. Played at Rich Central out there in Olympia Fields in the south suburbs, and played his college ball for the ILL. He's an all-time favorite down there in Champaign. Let's bring him on, Mr. Kendall Gill.
How you doing, guys?
What's up, man?
Oh, hey, everything's good. I apologize, man. My internet went down, so I had to do it on my phone. So I was just rushing around trying to figure out what I was going to do. So I apologize for being late.
I appreciate you, man. You done been up since about 5:30, but we'll get into that later, though. But
actually 4.
Kendall, as many of you know, he's also a Chicago Bulls analyst for NBC Sports Chicago. So let's just get right into it, Kendall. We appreciate you for joining us here. The Bulls. A couple big news here in the past week. First was the removal of Boylan as the head coach, and then now they get the number 4 pick in this upcoming draft. How do you think that's going to help change this franchise? They got the number 4 pick, which is a pretty good pick.
They did, and for the past 3 years, they got the number 7 pick, which turned out to be really good players. I mean, Larry Markkinen, very talented young player, but still needs to find his way. Also, Wendell Carter Jr., who's a really serviceable big man. I think under a new coaching that, you're going to really start to see his potential. And then Kobe White, man. I mean, Kobe White showed what he could really do right before the pandemic hit, and very talented. I think he and Zach LaVine in the backcourt, once they get some experience and some time under their belts, they're going to be one of the best backcourts in the league, and you look at them, I kind of liken them to like CJ McCollum and Dame Lillard, except for they're bigger. Kobe is 6'5", Zach is about 6'6". They list him at 6'5", but Zach is about 6'6". But they need that experience, and they need to stay healthy and get some wins under their belt. I felt like that the Bulls could have gotten into the playoffs last year, but they were decimated by injuries once again. Wendell Carter Jr. got hurt. Larry Markkinen got hurt. Zach LaVine got out to a slow start until he said, "To hell with that analytic stuff. I'm going to just start playing my game." And actually, when he did that, that's when he really took off. Same thing with Kobe White. I talked to Zach at the beginning of the season. He came to work out with me once, and he said that he was confused by the way that they wanted him to play. He said they either want me to take a 3-point shot or a layup, nothing in between, no mid-range game. I was like, and then he said, and that has me confused. It's going against my basketball instinct. So, that's why he had the slow start. The same with Kobe White.
Wow, that's rough. That's real rough. You can't play if you're handcuffed.
Yeah, and if you look at the NBA game today, man, I actually, because I'm a basketball purist, I hate the way that they play today. And but before Kobe Bryant passed away, he did an interview and he said that today's game is accidental basketball. They play 5 out, they try and break you down. If they can't take a 3, they'll drive it. And even if they got a layup, they'll throw it out for a 3. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so it's accidental. It's like really like no structure to it.
You know what, KG? Talking about Coach Boylan, did you think his system fitted the type players that he had? Like one thing I thought about is that I'm happy you on here because, like I said earlier, you used to play. Talk about why you think his system didn't fit his players because at times, and I like Jim, but I was confused myself from time to time. And when him and Zach started going at it a little bit back and forth, I was like, oh, that's a problem.
Yeah, I like Jim Boylan too, but I actually sat down with him at the beginning of the season last year, and he said we play to the numbers, and the numbers say you shoot more threes and twos, you're gonna 9 times out of 10 you're gonna win the game. But it wasn't working for him, and I don't think that his system, like you just mentioned, Lance, fit his players. Lance, you a coach, if I got Laurie Markkinen, who's 7'1", I'm not gonna have him out there shooting three-point shots exclusively. I'm gonna run some cross screens for him, get him in some pick and rolls, let him roll to the basket, let him get the ball mid post or in the block itself, and let him go to work. And another thing about Laurie's not like a dominant personality. He needs his coach to help him get the basketball in the scoring positions where he can score. Zach LaVine, Kobe White, they can handle that thing. They can get their own shot whenever they want to. Laurie Markkinen can't. Wendell Carter can't. You need to help those guys, and that's why I didn't think his system fit his personnel.
You know what? I watched Laurie Markkinen practice last year and the year before, and I thought he was going to make a bigger jump this year. And Nick and I were sitting there watching him. I said, I didn't know he was that long, KG.
Yep.
I didn't know he could shoot it like he could shoot it. So I said I was looking for the jump, and I never saw the jump. Like, from a player standpoint, do you think he could be a star or you think he could be a superstar with the tools that he has?
With the tools that he has, he could be a superstar. But it's all in here, and he's got to show that, because if it were me and I had that much talent, I would be like, yo, man, I'm not standing out here on the perimeter. Y'all give me the basketball. I mean, Zach is like that. Kobe is like that. All scorers are like that. They had that mentality. Give me the ball, man. And I think that Laurie has a tendency to sit back. That's his personality, to wait for the game to come to him. But in order to be a superstar, sometimes you got to be selfish. And that I don't have that. I don't see that in Laurie's personality. You got to be selfish when it's time to take over the game, or you got to be selfish sometimes when it's time to get yourself into the game. And Laurie just like sits back and waits for things to happen.
So is that Kendall? I know I talked to you last year about George Karl, and I think you said that was probably one of your favorite coaches. Like would George Karl make you feel good about yourself? Do you need a coach to make you feel good about yourself at times if you don't have that dominant personality?
No, actually, look, George Karl was one of the best coaches, X and O's, that I ever played for.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, straight up, he's one of, and there's very few people I dislike in this world. He's one of them.
Oh, I got that wrong, Kendall.
Yeah, you got that wrong.
I got that wrong.
Come on, Lance, you gotta do some research, man.
Who was the coach you said that you liked playing for, Kendall?
No, let's go back to George Karl. Why you didn't like him? That's the story.
Because you put me on blast. Go ahead, KG.
No. I love playing for Alan Bristow. I love playing for Flip Saunders. I like playing for John Calipari. Butch Beard when he was with the Nets. I loved playing for him as well. I liked all of my coaches, man, except for George. George Karl just recently had this big tip with Mark Jackson, on air saying that none of his teams turned into dynasties after he left. That's typical George Karl. And like I said, I think that George Karl is basketball mind, one of the best to do it. But he always had a tendency to get in his way by picking fights with his players. You look at Carmelo Anthony. You look at Kenyon Martin. The same thing with me when I was with the Seattle Supersonics. And the thing is, I couldn't understand why he was doing what he was doing because it was unnecessary. Why?
Right.
We went we won 63 games with the number 1 seed and lost to the Denver Nuggets, the number 8 seed. And a big reason why is because of the tinkering that was going on with the players. And George continued to do that throughout his career, man. And who was that? Baron Davis tweeted out that you got a reputation for trying to destroy players' careers, and I second that.
Wow. I mean, do you think he just is
I
it?
experienced it myself.
Kendall, do you think he just thinks that he's bigger than the game, or do you think he's just got that controlling type personality where he wants the players to do it the way he wants to do it?
I could never figure him out. And I don't try to anymore. I just didn't understand why the guy got in his own way. Because you get in your own way by messing with your players all the time. That's killing what the ultimate goal is, and that's to win. And I got so many George Karl stories, bro. Y'all.
We got to bring Kendall back for the George Karl stories.
My little cousin up there, like,
when I write my book one day, he's gonna get a whole chapter, believe me.
Oh yeah. You come here preview it. Hey, Scoop Jackson was here last week previewing his book. So the Wrath of George Karl by Kendall Gill.
Right.
My little cousin up there chomping at the biscuit. He like, oh, tell me more. But no, Kendall, let's talk about the Dallas Mavericks and the Los Angeles Clippers series. I mean, is Luka really as good as he is? Like, they need to figure out a way to slow him down. Last night, he went for 40 and 17 on the sore ankle. 40, 17, and I think 13. He he single-handedly won the game. I think him and Trey Burke been excellent. But talk about what you think the Clippers need to do to slow down the Dallas Mavericks.
Well, the first thing I would do, and I don't understand why NBA players don't do this now. I would do this to James Harden as well. You got to pick Luka up 3/4 court, because if you let him get in his spot and let him start dancing and doing all that stuff, he's excellent at getting you on his back. When he runs the pick and roll, he will get you on his back, and he's 6'8", so you're not going to be able to get around him. And I would make him work. I used to do that. I used to do that to Grant Hill. I used to do it. Couldn't do it to Michael and them because the triangle was just too. Triangle. You can't do that to people. Guys that bring the basketball up court, you got to give them different looks. You got to pick them up 3/4 court one play. You got to pick them up half court one play. You got to lay off of them one play. You can't give them the same look, because if you give them the same look, they're gonna slice and dice you apart. That's what Luka and James Harden and guys like that do. Same with Donovan Mitchell. Same with Devin Booker. If you lay off of them, you notice guys today, they just lay there and stand there and watch guys dribble the basketball and do their little thing.
A rhythm.
You got to put pressure on them. You got to break their rhythm. Grant Hill had 6'8", had a great crossover dribble. But what I used to try to do is, when I saw him take that hop skip, I take a step to him, because that broke his rhythm. Most people, when they do the little hop skip to get ready to cross over, most people back up. Okay, so now you're not in his space. And I liken it to boxing. Y'all know I after I played basketball, I went and had four pro fights as a boxer. And the one thing that guys do with real slick fighters, they take a step to them. Okay, and they stop all that. Same with basketball. Take a step to them. The one guy, the kid got traded from the Atlanta Hawks to OKC. He's the backup point guard.
Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder.
Yeah. Schroeder did one of the best jobs I've ever seen done on James Harden by taking a step to him. When James Harden do get down there and he do all this stuff, he took a step to him. Guess what? James Harden had to reset back up. Most guys won't do it. They just let James Harden do whatever he wants to do. And that's the same way that I would guard Luka. Here's the thing, though. Why did Kawhi switch off on him and leave Reggie Jackson on him?
I was going to ask you if you saw that part, Jade, and I turned over to you. But Kendall, when I was watching, when I saw the switch, I was like, why switch? You're supposed to be one of the best defenders in the NBA. Kendall, I'm not switching that. You know better than me. Was the screen that hard, or do you like I got him? No matter what. But I don't know what they said during the timeout. You know, like in a timeout, do they say switch off screens, Kendall? Like I don't know.
But you know this, Lance. If you that dude like Kawhi is supposed to be, you ain't switching nothing. Like, yo,
go ahead, Jay.
You did would MJ have switched?
No.
Kobe? No.
Kendall Gill?
No.
Go ahead.
I hear you. Once again, we're being joined by Kendall Gill, 15-year NBA veteran, member of the Illinois Fighting Illini, and from Rich Central out there in Olympia Fields. Kendall, let me ask you this. First of all, we don't know when the next NBA season is going to be after this. The draft. We got the number 4 pick, but we've already seen players like Ayo Dosuma. He said, nope, I'm going back to college. How is that going to affect the Bulls' decisions, not knowing when the season is going to start again? And we don't know which players are going to now say, you know what, I'm going to go back to college.
Yeah, everybody's caught up in this conundrum, man. It's, I think what the Bulls, what they have to do is select the best person available. We talked about, because we did our first show actually in 6 months last week during the draft lottery, and we talked about the Bulls perhaps packaging the pick with either Lauri Markkanen or Wendell Carter Jr. to Golden State for the second pick. And I think the second pick is going to be James Wiseman, because they don't need Wiseman in Minnesota because they got Karl Anthony Towns. I think they're going to go with the kid from Georgia, the 2 guard. So I think that if the Bulls can get a 7-footer like Wiseman to go along with Kobe White and Zach LaVine and either Lauri Markkanen or Wendell Carter, why not do that? Now, if they can't package the pick and with another player and get it to Golden State, then I think they choose the kid. I don't know how to pronounce his name. He's a 6'9" small forward out of Israel.
Okay.
But he can play and he's aggressive, man. And he's like what we want Lauri Markkanen to be. And he can shoot it. Yeah, he can shoot it. He can take it to the basket, and he's ultra aggressive. You don't have to ask him to be aggressive. He's just naturally that way.
Gotcha, Kendall. Gotcha. Kendall, the series, the session is coming to a segment is coming down to a close. And I have to ask you about one of my favorite things. I have to ask you about the 60-40. You've been out there killing me. Our producer, Maya Gavin, is afraid. Maya's afraid to come out there and run with us, Kendall. What you have been doing for the community is great. Can you talk about the 60-40, and please try to talk Maya into coming out there and running with us, please.
Yeah, well, the 60-40 is a workout that I did in college with the Flying Illini before we went to the Final Four. So it's based off of sprints where you sprint 60 yards at 75% capacity, then you jog 40 yards, you touch the goal line, you turn around, you do it again. Down is 1, back is 2. Your first day is 20. That's 2,000 yards. And then after you get done doing that, then you do 20 calisthenics. So Hindu squats, Hindu push-ups, Hindu sit-up, hold a back bridge for 20 seconds, and hold a plank for 20 seconds. So we try to do it within 30 minutes so that your cardio is up. And so what you have to do, you have to complete the cycle. And the cycle is going up for 25 days and then coming back down for 25 days. It takes 50 days to do. You see Lance. Lance is looking like a thoroughbred right now.
Man, my heart just exploded. Listen to you explain that.
But you know what? And we built a community of people that, it's not a competition with any other participants. It's a competition with yourself. Can you stick with it for 50 days?
No.
Yeah, but believe me, with all the people out there, you feel like you're accountable to the team. So you'd be able to do it if you came out.
See, Berto gonna post, what about us fat guys?
Hey, look, you won't be fat after 50 days.
hey, Kendall, would you please invite Maya to come out there and run with us, please? Because she's giving me a hard time. She's posting comments. Heck no, I'm not coming out there. But man, Kendall, I really do appreciate the community, and I love coming out there. You're doing a great job, man. I can't thank you.
Man, hey, Lance, we love having you. Of course, you know you basketball royalty here in Chicago.
Please.
And, anytime you can come out, man, and bless us with your presence, we really appreciate it.
Oh, I'm finishing.
Wow.
And please come back and talk to Jason about George Carl. He's jumping at the bits.
I got a lot of more. It's Club of Lanny.
Yeah, buddy. You know I like those stories. Kendall went all fitness on me. That's supposed to be for our next guest. He talking about 60-40 and cardio. I'm like, man, y'all killing me. But that's all right. But anyway, thank you for joining us again, Kendall. Remember, you all can find Kendall online at Kendall G13. And when the NBA season returns next season with the Bulls, check him out on NBC Sports Chicago. He gives great analysis of the Bulls game.
Thanks,
Kendall,
KG.
Thank you so much, man. You're the future author of the George Carl Chronicles.
All right,
appreciate it, KG.
All right.
Thank you.
We're going to take a commercial break. And coming up next is my girl, JoJo. She's going to talk about fitness modeling. We can't wait for this segment.
I can't wait for JoJo.
I know, man.
I can't wait for JoJo.
Yeah, we can't wait. Coming right back up.
Blessings, everyone. It is Johaiza DeJesus, your holistic fitness expert and health educator professional. Your girl is running for Miss Health and Fitness 2020 and to appear on the cover of Muscle and Fitness Hers magazine. Help me make this dream a reality by daily voting. Go to MissHealthAndFitness.com and get your daily votes every day until October 8th. Thank you for tuning in. Here, streaming live Mondays, the What's Up Cuz show with Lance Irvin and Jason Palmer, 6 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Welcome back, everybody, to What's Up Cuz. I'm your host, Jason Palmer, along with the coach, Lance C. Irvin. Man, you got Kendall on here, man. I was sweating just from him talking about that 60-40 stuff, man. What's wrong with you? Put your mic on, Mr. 60-40 man.
I couldn't hear you, cuz. What is it you just said after you put me on
man,
blast?
what's wrong with you, man? You got me all lathered up.
Do your research.
You up here talking about some 60-40. Your own daughter posted on here that 60-40 struggle is real.
That's all right. We gonna see what Miss Health and Fitness has coming up.
Yeah, I think she probably has.
Let me ask if I could call her JoJo first. So I'm not gonna call her JoJo.
Let me do the formal introduction first, and then we'll get to it. So coming up next, we have coming from us from down in Florida. Good friend of mine. I've known her since she was a teenager. She is currently in the running to be on the cover of a magazine cover. It's all about health and fitness, but she's going to need some help. She needs your vote. She needs your vote to get her to the top. She's representing women of color in something that there are not a lot of women in color in. So we got to support them once they get there. But I've known her since she was a 15. She used to run track, phenomenal athlete. You know, during the COVID pandemic, I was working out with her online. She had me doing these crazy plank exercises. My stomach was hurting like the next day. But she's just a phenomenal young lady, and I wanted to bring her into the Chicago media market so we could all get a chance to meet her. Johaiza DeJesus, JoJo, what's up?
What's up, everybody? Hey, you guys.
How are you?
I'm doing well. Y'all had me hyped up over here.
Man, you be getting me hyped up with all them crazy video exercises you be doing. I'm like, JoJo, where you come up with this from?
It's actually easy. It's not really that hard.
Yes.
He needed every exercise. He needs every exercise you showed him and more.
I try to show the basics. And get a full body workout in 15 minutes. It's really what you need. That's it.
Oh man. So JoJo, tell us about what you're currently doing. And I didn't mention the prize money involved, so I'm gonna let you talk about that too. But just go ahead and talk to us about the contest and what you're currently doing.
Yeah, so I was directed to enter a contest. And of course, when I initially found out about it, I didn't know everything that was involved with the contest as far as how the process went. So this competition is the Miss Health and Fitness 2020 competition. So it's basically like a campaign. It's a voting marathon. And I thought it would be pretty cool, something to try out. I didn't think it was, it's going to be so much work, like a campaign, like a presidential campaign.
Right.
And just decided to go for it. And then when the day was officially here, when we started in July, we ended up finding out that it was basically by rounds, and it was all the way until October 8th, and it was all by votes of the public. So it was something very out of my comfort zone to ask for votes every day. But it was something that I knew had to happen because the way the process ended up going and throughout, it was just a growth that I experienced through it, and just learning how to just step out, be more social. That was my thing, not being as social, even though I'm a kind person. I like to talk and be around people, but I just wasn't social out, business out there like that.
Right.
Life out there. But yeah, so now with this competition, it's just growing me, and it's now making me basically just show out there everything that's already internally in me and everything that I've studied for. So it's the fitness arena, health and fitness, my background in physical therapy, which I'm studying to get into the doctor's program for physical therapy. And I'm just, I'm ecstatic. It's just something new. It's something different in a sense of how to approach it, and just trying to basically tie in my mission of holistic fitness and how I got into the arena of fitness, and how it just, I guess with my health issue, when I went through it a couple of years ago, it just defined fitness for me. And now my greater mission is to just educate people globally on holistic fitness, and understanding that fitness is just not something physical only, or just reaping the benefits physically, but it's also internally, and it's fitness from the inside out.
Yeah, and without a doubt, and our producer posted a couple of the photos there. See, that's them crazy workouts I'm talking about. She doing push up on stairs, leaning down. What the world? And then the whole thing, the ropes. Maya, post that picture with the rope thing again when you get a chance. That was the one. I was like, look at this. I'm like, all right, I'm not doing this. Okay, I do some stuff. I'm not doing this.
Where is your mental toughness?
It ain't there.
This is where fitness come in. This is where fitness come in. It's something also mentally. It's that mental toughness, and it is very crucial because right now how everything is going, and even just the disparities when it comes to mental health. It's very, very crucial that we start to implement and understand the importance of movement, just exercising, and just thinking the sport of just exercise, the sport of fitness is basically the sport of fitness is just moving. And what ties into it, you don't have to be at the gym 2 hours, 3 hours, because you're not going to get what you need. You're going to exhaust yourself and hurt yourself. But a lot of people that does not end up taking fitness or exercising just seriously is because their mentality and how they see fitness.
Gotcha.
When the relationship with fitness and the way they seeing it is, well, they have to be at the gym. They have to look a certain way. They get, kind of scared or intimidated because of what they're seeing or the result package of people that have been doing it. But it's just movement. It's making sure that you are fit. Fit is just meaning being able to adapt to the environment to be capable of surviving.
Gotcha. Lance, you got a question?
Definitely. I was talking to my wife, JoJo. Excuse me for calling you JoJo, but may I call you
JoJo?
That's
fine. That's what people call me.
I love working out, love health, I love fitness. And my wife wanted me to ask you, with COVID and going on, what can she do to boost her immune system? And what can she do in like 15 minutes to get her body really moving?
Okay, well, with 15 minutes, you can get a great workout. I always, I usually try to post 15 minutes workout, monthly workouts that everyone can do, but basic calisthenic type workouts. You don't have to really use weights or anything if you want to start. If you have not been working out on the daily, you start out by certain movements, certain stretches. So you want to do things that's going to require you less stress into the muscle, less stress into the body, your joints, and just kind of warm it up. And then by the next day, progress and start doing something more stressing. So you want to do things like jumping jacks. You want to do jump rope. You can get stuff that are actually fun, that can help you to then progress into something now more, aerobics. That's actually good cardio exercise. Doing cardio is actually a good way to start when you're doing just basic exercises because, of course, cardiovascular starts to get that heart rate going, heart pumping, blood flow, balancing sugar levels. So cardio, any type of cardio, dancing is a type of fitness. You can do dancing as well and increase from there. You sometimes people don't have the strength yet to go ahead and do a push-up, but there's modifications. You can do push-ups. You can do modification of high knees, marchings.
Modification. That's a good word. I learned that one with JoJo. Modification. That was what I did. Modification.
With me, there's gonna be no excuses. You can't use excuses with me because I will find a way for you to get your workout in. I'm great with modifications and still getting that workout in. But on the health aspect, what you can do to boost your immune system is making sure that you're eating properly. So you don't want to be eating too many of the sugars, processed sugars. You don't want to be out there, and that's like soda, which I call pop. Pop. Yep. So you want to be kind of laid back on that a little bit. Anything with gluten, milk, dairy products, you want to kind of lay that out a little bit as well, because that causes inflammation, and that's how you get certain diseases, and get discomforts from dairy products. So you want to build up on fruits. You want to build up on fruits. You want to build up on multivitamins, things that's going to be rich in the things and the minerals that we need.
Jojo, let me ask you this. The fitness competitions that you've been, I also know you've done modeling as well. You've done fitness modeling as well. Talk a little bit about women of color in that industry and some of the challenges that you face.
Yeah. So in the sports, as a woman, in certain industry, it's going to be very challenging. It's either going to be male dominant, or it's going to be that other tier when it comes to bringing race, bringing color. And so in the sports, in the fitness arena, and then you have modeling arena, it's very challenging in the sense of now color and what the representations are. So in this arena, as a woman, representation always going to be misrepresentation. How you represent a woman of color compared to a woman, a white woman. And usually when you even represent or have women of color, that misrepresentation is going to come by now physical looks, or looking a certain way, or how you think, how a Black woman should look, compared to what the, not ideal, but what is already looked for, or what they categorize for that specific, I would say for the specific catalog. And so this misrepresentation of course, now being a woman of color, having a full body, they start to now sexualize a Black woman because of how a Black woman is built. And not, I would say the average white person may not build such way. So with this competition, or how I even think of approaching this competition, and being in the, having been in the field of modeling, I try to focus more on what I have to bring to the table and what my goal is, and to continue to go forth aggressive with that knowledge, compared to go in there, like from what I'm seeing also from white women, is to sexualize themselves, to see themselves a certain way, or see themselves fit. And being fit, we're going to have different body shape, different ways that we're going to look as what fitness is, because fitness is going to be different for everybody. But it's also bringing in the attention to show representation in the proper way.
Gotcha.
And this is something really huge that I know that there's other women that I've spoken to as well that are in the fitness arena, women of color, that are trying to really bring that out there. It's just bringing the proper representation, bringing also just women of color out there, keep increasing, because from 2014 to now, there have been an increase of more Black women in the fitness area, even in modeling, they've been increasing, but that's like about, I would say 25 maybe percent that would appear on a cover of magazine. But if you're trying to be featured on a magazine, or even come as a model, it's way less than that.
Gotcha. Lance, you got a question?
Yeah, we need to get you to first place. I'm not sure if you're not in first place, but what place are you in, and how can we get you to first place? Because we need you to be on the cover for us.
Well, I think I'm in second right now. So I've been taking, last night I was in first. So it changes. It changes. So right now, I believe I'm in second. Last night or this morning, I was in first place. So it's just continuous voting, getting people to vote, and try to stay consistent voting. Purchase voting, they have warrior votes. Warrior votes is where people can purchase votes for $1. And that proceed, that money, it goes to Homes for Wounded Warriors. So it provides our U.S. military vets that have been wounded with home essentials.
Gotcha.
That's another way to also get me back into first place as well, donating to that cause while you're also helping me to get back up there. And
we're getting you back to first.
We're gonna get you up there. We're gonna get you up there. We're gonna get you up. We're gonna keep running these promos until October 8th. So we're gonna get you up there. So JoJo, I've known you since you were like 16, 17, years old. We've always stayed in contact with each other. You know about my life, I've known about your life, and I've always been amazed because you've really always had to overcome stuff. Tell everybody, how many children do you have? How many beautiful kids do you have?
3.
She got 3 beautiful kids, and she still finds time to work out to do the 15 minutes, and I'll be trying to find 5 minutes.
You have to look, if you want to stay sane, you have to find those 5 minutes.
There you go.
Whatever you can to just breathe and stay sane.
Right.
Great advice.
Right. Now you and Lance, you both also have very personal stories, and I didn't tell Lance about this before the interview, but Lance, he had to fight cancer, beat it twice. You've had your own health challenges, and I know that's kind of gotten you into this. So I'm gonna put you on the spot. Tell everybody your backstory and your health challenge. It was really close here.
Yes. Well, for me, it was ulcerative colitis, chronic ulcerative colitis. So that's inflammation of the colon. And back then, it was something that I was used as a guinea pig because they still don't know as much as what causes it. And they just thought it was hereditary, but no one in my family really has it. And they kind of basically geared to stating that people that were about 90, so the elderly, will be the one that will get these type of diseases. So it was something that was still rare, although somewhat known about. And they were still doing testing. So during that time for me, of course, I was one of those guinea pigs at that moment and got very ill. And I was in the hospital for like about a month without leaving because of testing to try to figure out what causes it, what's going on, why, the inflammation's still there, all these things. And so that's basically what ended up being my turnaround and gave me a new meaning to health and fitness. And that's how I developed holistic fitness from it, because it was a matter of a lot of things. It was just not only not eating well. I was still eating here and there, but I was not, I was still under a lot of stress. I was working 2 full-time jobs when I had also a child. So I had a baby at that moment as well. That was not even 1 year old yet. And on top of that, I was still young. So when I was in the hospital, everybody was looking at me like, what was I in there for? Everybody leaving, coming, going. Elderly, and like I stated, elderly people still there and leaving. And they were wondering like what it was that I had. And when I told them, they, of course, were shocked because I was 20 at that time.
And tell me a little bit, how close was it? Like, how close was this thing to being fatal for you?
Oh, it was to the point where I was already on the bed. I was transported. By the second time that I left the hospital, that's the time that I still was losing just blood through the stool, and I was already on that bed by the time they took me to the hospital, passed out, and the doctor said that I needed a blood transfusion. If I didn't, I was gonna die. So that was when basically I blacked out. So the next day I got blood transfusion because I had family to donate it, and my blood type, it's O positive, so I can't just receive any blood type. So that was another thing. And so not being ignorant too, in the sense of not understanding what ulcerative colitis was and then how to treat it. So the blessing in that, even though, yes, it was something very tragic and how everything happened. But within that, it was a blessing because now I can use that story to bless other people so they don't have to go through what I went through. You know, I went through the surgery. So I had months where I still wasn't getting better. I was given about 7-8 pills. And then the specialist thought, okay, well, this is spreading. And so even though they did not diagnose me with colon cancer, he was basically saying, well, the inflammation is spreading through the whole colon. And I looked into the surgery. And so I was able to do a colon rectal surgery. And when I went into that, you know, the way it happened, it was just rapid. So I knew it was God, because once I spoke about it and I got the information, the next day I was already in the room to get hospitalized. But my thing is, it's a blessing because now I get to educate others and to try to avoid the surgery, because it was a 2-step process for me. So I don't think anybody want to go through a 2-step process of surgery.
Sure.
Whatever that can be done to reverse it, you know, that's basically what I end up learning. I was able to reverse that, but because I was not knowledgeable, I didn't know about it. I didn't know everything that, you know, it takes, what I had to do, what I had to eat. I didn't know it, but now I do. And so this is where holistic fitness come in. This is where my business, Fit and Health, come in, and basically implementing fit and health in every area of my life.
Gotcha.
That's mentally, that's spiritually, that is, you know, physically, socially, and making sure that, you know what, everything is being done to be complete and be whole.
Right. Go ahead, Lance.
I just wanted to ask you real quick. When you dealing with the surgeries and going through some of the issues that you was going through, I heard you talk about mind and mental toughness. Do you think your mental toughness and your mindset got you through some of the things that you were dealing with? Because when I was sick, I used my mental makeup to help me get through some of the things that I was going through.
Yes, definitely. Telling myself every day, I got to do this. There were times where, you know, it wasn't all motivational. It wasn't all helpful. There were days where I was down and I just didn't have the encouragement. But then there were days where I did have that encouragement, either from family, from friends, where they encouraged me, you know, to get back up, to stay up, to keep going. And the fact that during that time I had one child, I had a baby that was not 1 year old yet. That was also another reason. So it kind of motivated me and gave me more of a reason to push myself, because it was not only about me anymore.
Right.
But that mental toughness, yeah, definitely.
That in prayer.
Right. Oh, JoJo, thank you so much. Yeah. Well, JoJo, thank you so much for joining us today and telling us, you know, your personal story and how you got into holistic fitness and the challenges you face as a Black woman in the fitness competition models. And we're going to get you over the top there. We're going to keep promoting this thing. Definitely. So you stay in contact with us. You're such a motivation, even for me, even if I do 10 minutes of the 15. But you're such a motivating factor for all of us. So that's my girl JoJo down there in Florida. Thank you, JoJo. You be safe down there. Give my love to the kids. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. Well, cuz our time here is come and gone. We got these last 30 seconds. I'm glad we were able to end it on an inspirational story here. I'm up here in southeastern Wisconsin, and we all know what's happened up here in Kenosha last night. We had another one of those police-involved shootings that's currently under investigation. And so I'm on lockdown. I actually got to be on curfew in like 30 seconds, according to the county of Kenosha. So, everybody just hang in there and, be peaceful and love each other and love your family. Any closing thoughts from you real quick?
You know what, cuz when is enough? Like, you get tired of the same thing over and over again. Education is key. Enough is enough. Something needs to be done. I agree.
Well, thanks again, everybody, for joining us for What's Up, Cuz. You can see us here next week from 6 to 8 p.m. Don't forget to download that app, SportsZone Chicago, on iTunes, Amazon, or Google. Until next week, I'm Jason Palmer for Lance Irvin. We will see you then. Peace.